Is there possibly some singular, notable obstacle? Maybe one obstacle to jump over for the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott to get this Dak fatigue behind us and a long-term contract in front of us. Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, where we mentioned the other day in terms of the tool bag, the toolbox that these two parties could use to get together, the idea of a 3-year deal, tag on 2 voidable years, that benefits the Cowboys and doesn't hurt Dak, and put in there that there is a no tag clause, not a no trade clause, a no tag clause at the end of it, meaning that after the Cowboys are done with that 3 years, and again, they can negotiate after this season and do another deal if they want to, but let's go on this 3-year concept that Dak would then be a free agent after the 3 years and would have written to his contract, you can't tag me again. It's a great way, I think, a great tool to ask for, a great tool to dangle, a great tool of compromise. If you've got other things kind of set in motion, that the money's okay, and I would suggest that the years would certainly be okay with Dak Prescott, and the voidable year part would be helpful for the Cowboys. That one other carrot to dangle would be, we won't tag you. It really might be the singular obstacle going forward, with one problem. ESPN has suggested that our numbers last year, and as you'll recall that we reported 5 years, 35 million APY. I think ESPN is saying it was 34.5. Okay. About 35 million APY is what we reported. We also reported about $110 million in guarantees, and that was the Cowboys' offer of 5 years. It's being suggested that Dak might very well have signed that, except for one obstacle. He wanted a you can't tag me clause at the end of the 5 years. So Dak would have been 31, right, at the end of that contract, and wanted to be free again to negotiate with anybody, including the Cowboys, free to negotiate over the course of that time to stay with the Cowboys. But if that 5 years came and went, Dak could not be tagged a third time. That's what he was asking for, allegedly. And the Cowboys said no. The Cowboys might look back at that and regret it. They could have had Dak for 5 years and we wouldn't be going through this drama and this salary cap trauma. And that, of course, as we've discussed here, is coming, depending on how and when and if they get this thing done. But if we get to that same point now, with the Tuesday tag deadline looming, if we get to that same point where there is a semi-agreement on years, the way there might well have been last year. We've talked about the difference between the 4-year ask and the 5-year offer, but this paints it in a little different picture. If the money is okay, and again, I do believe that the reason that Jerry said imminent 2 years ago at $30 million is because they pretty much thought they had a deal, meaning that Dak's side was close there. I think $35 million a year ago was representative, not disrespectful, not unfair. And now, again, we don't know the numbers yet as we speak here. But if we're moving this thing towards 40 million APY, and the Cowboys get their voidable years, so they can afford to spread this thing out, and Dak gets his eventual second big bite of the contractual apple, you might be looking at one more obstacle, a no tag clause written in to this deal. By the way, the Tuesday deadline, NFL Network reporting, that may get backed up because the league is still working on the big calculator, trying to figure out exactly what the salary cap is, exactly what it is, which will tell us exactly what these tag numbers can be. That buys the Cowboys and Dak theoretically a little time, but they need to still operate as if 3 p.m. Central Time Tuesday is the deadline to tag. As it looks right now, that's the way these parties will go. But if the no tag clause for the future, if the no tag clause can be a carrot on the stick being dangled here, can be a negotiating tool, can be a lever to pull that gives both sides more of what they want, let's kick that obstacle out of the way, shall we? Fish out.